Joseph, a man of profound faith and remarkable resilience, found himself unjustly confined within the walls of an Egyptian prison. Despite his dire circumstances, his spirit remained unbroken, and his unique gifts continued to manifest. He possessed an extraordinary ability to interpret dreams, a divine endowment that would profoundly shape his destiny. This gift, though seemingly dormant in his captivity, was a foreshadowing of the immense power and influence he would one day wield. His journey from a pit to a prison, and ultimately to a palace, is a testament to divine providence and human perseverance. Even in the darkest of times, Joseph's character shone brightly. Within the same prison, two prominent figures of Pharaoh's court also languished: the royal cupbearer and the royal baker. Both had incurred the Pharaoh's displeasure, leading to their sudden and severe imprisonment. Their fall from grace was swift and absolute, a stark reminder of the volatile nature of royal favor. Joseph, by virtue of his integrity and the favor he found with the prison warden, was assigned a significant role. He was appointed to attend to these high-ranking officials, serving their needs and overseeing their well-being during their incarceration. This position placed him directly in their path, setting the stage for pivotal events. His daily interactions with the cupbearer and baker allowed him to observe their moods and concerns closely. He was not merely a servant, but a compassionate observer, attuned to the emotional states of those around him. This attentiveness would soon prove crucial. One fateful morning, Joseph noticed a profound sadness etched upon the faces of both the cupbearer and the baker. Their usual demeanor was replaced by an evident distress, a palpable unease that could not be concealed. Their countenances were troubled, reflecting an inner turmoil. Joseph, ever observant and empathetic, approached them with a gentle inquiry. He asked, "Why do you look so sad today?" His question was born of genuine concern, seeking to understand the source of their evident sorrow. He offered a listening ear in their time of despair. The two officials then revealed the cause of their disquiet. Each had experienced a vivid and disturbing dream during the night, dreams that left them perplexed and anxious. Their dilemma was compounded by the absence of anyone capable of providing an interpretation. In ancient Egypt, dreams were often considered messages from the gods, and their interpretation was a matter of great importance. Without understanding, the dreams brought only fear and uncertainty. They felt helpless, unable to decipher the cryptic messages of their slumber. It was at this critical juncture that Joseph stepped forward with a remarkable offer. He declared his ability to interpret their dreams, assuring them that understanding was within reach. His confidence stemmed not from arrogance, but from a deep conviction in his divine connection. Crucially, Joseph did not claim this power for himself. He humbly attributed his interpretive gift to God, stating, "Do not interpretations belong to God? Tell them to me, please." He recognized that true insight came from a higher source, acknowledging divine sovereignty in all matters. Encouraged by Joseph's words and his evident sincerity, the chief cupbearer decided to recount his dream first. He began to describe the vivid imagery that had filled his sleep, hoping for a favorable revelation. His voice carried a mixture of apprehension and hope. He spoke of a vine that appeared before him, a symbol often associated with life and prosperity. This vine, he explained, had 3 distinct branches, each holding the promise of new growth. The number 3 often held symbolic significance in ancient cultures. As he watched in his dream, the branches quickly blossomed, and their flowers swiftly matured into clusters of ripe grapes. The process was accelerated, suggesting a rapid unfolding of events. The fruit was ready for harvest, full and abundant. He then described taking the grapes and squeezing their juice directly into Pharaoh's cup, a vessel reserved for the king's personal use. This act symbolized his direct service to the monarch, a role of great trust and intimacy. He then placed the cup into Pharaoh's hand. Upon hearing the details, Joseph's countenance brightened, and he delivered a positive interpretation. He explained that the 3 branches represented 3 days, a short but significant period. The dream foretold a swift and favorable outcome for the cupbearer. Joseph predicted that within these 3 days, Pharaoh would remember him and restore him to his former position. He would once again serve the king, holding the cup and fulfilling his duties as chief cupbearer. This was a promise of restoration and vindication. Following this hopeful interpretation, Joseph made a heartfelt request. He implored the cupbearer, "Only remember me when it is well with you, and please show kindness to me by mentioning me to Pharaoh, and get me out of this prison." He sought an advocate in the court. He then briefly explained the injustice of his situation, clarifying his imprisonment. "For indeed, I was kidnapped from the land of the Hebrews," he stated, "and here also I have done nothing that they should put me into the dungeon." He was an innocent man, wrongfully accused and detained. Witnessing the favorable interpretation given to the cupbearer, the chief baker felt a surge of hope and decided to share his own dream. He believed that his vision too might hold a positive message, eager for a similar pronouncement of good fortune. He stepped forward with anticipation. He began by describing 3 wicker baskets that rested upon his head, a common way for bakers to transport their goods. The image itself suggested his profession and his connection to the royal household. The baskets were stacked, one above the other. In the uppermost basket, he explained, were various kinds of baked goods, delicacies prepared specifically for Pharaoh. These were the finest products of his craft, intended for the king's table. The contents signified his direct service to the monarch. However, as he recounted, a disturbing element entered his dream. Birds began to descend and eat from the top basket, consuming the very food meant for Pharaoh. This act of consumption by birds was an unsettling detail, hinting at something amiss. The dream took a darker turn. Joseph listened intently to the baker's account, his expression growing solemn as the details unfolded. The imagery of the birds and the consumed food carried a different, more ominous symbolism than the cupbearer's vine. He recognized the gravity of the message. With a heavy heart, Joseph delivered his interpretation, which was starkly different from the previous one. He explained that the 3 baskets, like the 3 branches, also represented 3 days. However, the outcome for the baker would be tragic. He predicted that within these 3 days, Pharaoh would lift off your head from you and hang you on a tree. This was a clear prophecy of execution, a grim fate awaiting the chief baker. The birds eating from the basket symbolized his body being exposed after death. Joseph's interpretation was precise and unwavering, leaving no room for doubt. He foretold that the baker would be impaled, a brutal form of execution, and his body would be left for the birds to consume. The dream was a direct warning of impending doom. True to Joseph's interpretations, the events unfolded precisely as he had foretold, demonstrating the divine accuracy of his prophetic gift. The passage of 3 days brought about the fulfillment of both predictions, confirming Joseph's words. The prison awaited Pharaoh's decree. The occasion for these momentous decisions was Pharaoh's birthday banquet, a grand celebration held 3 days after the dreams. It was customary for the king to show favor or dispense justice on such an auspicious day. The court gathered in anticipation. On this day, Pharaoh indeed lifted up the heads of both the chief cupbearer and the chief baker. This phrase signified his judgment upon them, either for restoration or for condemnation. Their fates hung in the balance, awaiting the king's pronouncement. The chief cupbearer was reinstated to his former prestigious office, a testament to Joseph's accurate prophecy. He once again stood before Pharaoh, holding the royal cup and serving the king directly. His restoration was complete, his position secured. Conversely, the chief baker met the tragic end that Joseph had predicted. He was executed and impaled, his life brought to a swift and brutal conclusion. The grim reality of the dream's interpretation became undeniably manifest, a chilling confirmation of Joseph's words. Despite his miraculous restoration and Joseph's crucial role in it, the chief cupbearer, in his renewed prosperity, completely forgot his promise. He failed to mention Joseph to Pharaoh, neglecting the man who had accurately foretold his freedom. His memory proved short-lived. Joseph, therefore, remained in prison, left to languish in his unjust confinement for 2 more years. The cupbearer's forgetfulness prolonged his suffering, delaying his eventual release and rise to power. His hope for immediate freedom was dashed. This episode serves as a poignant illustration of the human tendency to forget those who helped in times of need, especially once personal crises have passed. The cupbearer's ingratitude highlights a common failing, a lack of remembrance for past kindnesses. Yet, this period of continued imprisonment, though painful, was not without purpose. It further refined Joseph's character and deepened his reliance on God. It was a crucial stage in his journey, preparing him for the immense responsibilities that lay ahead. The fulfillment of these dreams, and the cupbearer's subsequent forgetfulness, set the stage for Joseph's continued trials and his eventual, spectacular triumph. It underscored the divine timing of events, demonstrating that God's plan unfolds in its own perfect way. Joseph's story was far from over.